This is the Los Angeles Lakers Report by Chat Sports, and we are sponsored by Mint Mobile, changing the cell phone game with plans as low as $15 per month. Just like LeBron James can do it all, Mint Mobile can do it all for you. America's largest 5G network, unlimited talk and text, digital eSIM cards, so you don't have to waste your time going to a store. You don't have to get a new phone number or a new physical phone. Oh, that sounds great, right? MintMobile.com/chatsports. Plug in that link to start saving money today. Now, we have a lot of Lakers news and rumors to get to, but first, like this video if you dig the new Lakers jersey. Throwing it back to the George Mikan days, the Minnesota days, pretty fresh unis here. And of course, it's a little bit of a switch up from the standard purple and gold, but before the purple and gold, it was these colors right here. Baby blue text, little yellow sprinkled in there. So if you like the threads, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. The main talking point and subject of today's show all revolves around Anthony Davis, an NBA executive telling Heavy.com that there are Lakers executives who would prefer that Los Angeles explores AD's trade value, as his value high right now, as he's in his late 20s and in the middle of his prime. That anonymous Western Conference executive saying this: if LeBron James stays in Los Angeles and he stays a Laker, he had a lot personally invested in Anthony Davis being there. So yes, in that case, Davis stays. But it is not a sure thing. There are some in that organization who would not mind seeing what they can bring back for Anthony Davis, but they would do it or they would not do it with LeBron here. You get to 2024, though, and maybe things change a little bit. The Lakers have Anthony Davis for 2 more years for sure, and they can only hope that he stays healthy. But after that, they have to think, is this guy really our future? He can't stay on the floor, and he has to think, do I want to be here without LeBron James? That's why the Lakers do not want to give up some of those future picks. And if Anthony Davis keeps getting hurt, then his value will continue to plummet. But over the last couple of years, 2 to be precise, following the NBA bubble championship, AD has been off injured. And still, his value pretty high because he has tantalizing potential. And for other front offices, they're looking at a guy who still has really good basketball left. Let's say he gets in better shape and he becomes a little bit more devoted to being at his peak form. Could we trade for Anthony Davis and we're going to get the player that we saw back in 2019 and 2020, who averaged 26 points per game, 9 rebounds, is a defensive menace with more than 2 blocks per game, and is very efficient, shooting about 50% from the deck. And even when he's been injured the last 2 years, when you see it here, it's a problem when you've combined to play 76 games, but when he's on the floor, nearly 22 points per game, 23 this past year, always a good rebounder and one of the league's best defensive players. Now, we still have so much to unpack, talk about, and analyze with this subject matter, as well as Kevin Durant. I hope you stay with us for the entire duration of the show. But first, I want to make it about you. I want to hear from you in the comment section. This will be our pinned comment. So if you do get hit with that YouTube ad break, use it to your advantage. Scroll on down and get your votes in. Then when you do that, we'll be back breaking this down. But should the Lakers consider trading Anthony Davis? Our poll question for today's Lakers Report: Y for yes or N for no? Now, AD's unreliability, it's certainly been a big talking point, and it's certainly been a big problem for LeBron James because he's probably had to shoulder more of a load than what he wants to do and what he envisioned for himself when he signed on with the Lakers, and then they made that trade for Anthony Davis, because you're looking at a guy who is in his late 30s. He's going to be 38 years old in December, and he wants that co-star to here and there at least take some of the brunt of the offensive weight off his shoulders, and defensively too. 9 games missed out of 71 back during that bubble year, 36 out of 72 2 years ago, and nearly half the season last year. And this is a problem when Anthony Davis is as special as he is, when the Lakers have so much invested in him, and when he continues to be brittle, and when he continues to get injured when he's in the midst of his prime. Both things can be true. Anthony Davis is an absolute unicorn, but also in that same sentence, he is very, very brittle, and the Lakers need to be able to rely upon him to be consistently available to compete for NBA championships, because the 1-2 punch of LeBron and AD, when they're both right, when they're both clicking, still is very, very special. There's also this. It's the contract status for AD. under contract for a couple of years. This can be good for the Lakers. It can also be good for an acquiring team if the executives and the hopes that they have of exploring the trade value results in a trade. This upcoming year, $38 million. As salaries continue to grow, blossom, and expand, $38 million for the 2020 Anthony Davis, that's a little bit of a bargain considering his impact on both ends of the floor. It does go up in 2023-24 to $40 million, and that player option at $43 million, then he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2025 at 32 years old. Fascinated to see how Anthony Davis ages, and that's why maybe some executives want to see the Lakers explore that trade value right now. Now, when Anthony Davis is right, he can do it all on the basketball floor. He is a premium player, and Mint Mobile is offering premium wireless plan starting as low as $15 per month on America's largest 5G network. If you want to start saving money today in a period of time when a lot of people are trying to save some cash and cut some costs, you can do so by heading to mintmobile.com/chatsports. Additionally, for Mint Mobile, the cell phone company owned by actor Ryan Reynolds, who probably makes a living in the Los Angeles area, unlimited talk and text, high-speed data, mobile hotspot, really affordable plans. What's also really cool about Mint Mobile, if you decide to make the switch and change your cell phone carrier, you don't have to change your phone. You don't have to change your phone number, and they will send you a digital eSIM card so you don't have to waste your time in that Los Angeles traffic. I lived there back in 2014. It is for real. To go to a store, you can get it set up right from the comfort of your own home. MintMobile.com/chatsports. Start saving cash today with these awesome cell phone plans. For Anthony Davis to bounce back, has to get healthy, first and foremost. There's no question about that. And for AD, the positional versatility is something that I like. He has to prepare to play the 4, but if Darvin Ham approaches him, be ready to play the 5 at times, because Anthony Davis, with that athleticism and the elusiveness to his game and the explosion that we've seen when he's healthy, is special. And he can use that to exploit some mismatches, again, on both ends of the floor. That's why he's special. He's a two-way impact player. Also, got to get the outside shooting back. Think about how much more dangerous it makes him as a viable offensive threat when the shot last year was not viable, sub 20% from beyond the arc, but also what it does for his teammates. If defenses don't have to sag off Anthony Davis, that's basically 1.5 defenders going towards somebody else if they're already defended, if they're giving AD so much space backing up from the three-point arc. If they have to confront him along that perimeter, it's one-on-one against Anthony Davis, and everybody else has those one-on-one matchups. And, oh yeah, by the way, LeBron James one-on-one matchup against anybody basically in the league up to this point, I'm still taking LBJ to take it to the rack and throw down that hammer. Speak your mind, Laker Nation. What do you think about AD? Will he bounce back next year? If so, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If not, share your basketball knowledge with me and comment why. As for AD's trade value, how good of a player could the Lakers get if they wanted to explore Anthony Davis's worth? That is a big topic of conversation because AD can get back a haul if they were to trade him. Some star players who we'll talk about coming up around the corner. First, though, make sure you subscribe to the Lakers Report. Don't let Golden State Warriors today catch up. 4,000 subs is about the gap here, and both channels are two largest NBA channels under the Chat Sports umbrella. YouTube.com/LakersTV. Hit that red sub button. Let's get the 50,000 subs to distance from the Golden State Warriors. They already won an NBA championship, so all is good. Don't let them catch up in subs either. Potential targets for Anthony Davis. How about these 3-star players? Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell. Let's run through all of them. So for KD, there is new reporting on the Durant front. Shams Charania of The Athletic saying that KD reiterated that trade request to owner Joe Tsai. He told Joe Tsai that he must choose either him, Kevin Durant, or the pairing of general manager Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash. If he wants to keep Kevin Durant, he must fire Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash. That's pretty fascinating for a couple of reasons because we haven't really seen Kevin Durant throughout his career be this demanding. And then more from Shams, the Nets have engaged with almost every single NBA team. And obviously that's going to be the case because every single NBA team is going to make a call to Brooklyn to see if they can trade for Kevin Durant and what it would cost. And you can make the argument if you're the Lakers, Joe Tsai, if you're going to trade Kevin Durant, Sean Marks, if you're actually going to still be employed, There aren't many better players out there than Anthony Davis that you can get back for Kevin Durant. So trade him to the Lakers. He can team up with LeBron James. AD goes to Brooklyn. If he stays healthy, you know the type of player that he can be. As for Kyrie Irving, the domino of Kevin Durant must fall first, and it must be determined first in order to determine the fate of Kyrie Irving. KD gets traded. Nets aren't building around Kyrie Irving going into the final year of that one-year contract on that player option. They're going to look to trade him away. Now, maybe the Lakers want Kevin Durant to get traded because that means that Kyrie will get dealt, and if there aren't many suitors for Kyrie Irving, then the Lakers can swoop in on that pretty affordable price tag without giving up Anthony Davis. And then lastly, Donovan Mitchell. Could Anthony Davis be traded to the Utah Jazz in exchange for Donovan Mitchell? You would think that Utah might want to just completely tear it down like they've kind of done already, trading away Rudy Gobert, Quinn Snyder left. If they trade D-Mitch, that signals a full-on rebuild. But if they envision and think, okay, we could be a pretty solid team, let's bring in Anthony Davis to build around him, that's a pretty good superstar replacement after losing D-Mitch the Spider as well as Rudy Gobert. So pick one to trade for. Laker Nation, I want to hear from you. Give me a D for Kevin Durant, I for Kyrie Irving, M for Donovan Mitchell. Which of these three players right here would you trade for? And before we get out of here, if a trade does happen for KD, of Anthony Davis, for Kyrie Irving, we'll of course let you know. We'll discuss it, we'll analyze it, and we'll break it down right here on the channel. Purple and Gold, show up, show out. Stand up, subscribe to the channel, and we appreciate all of you for continuing to support everything that we do. It's the doldrums and the silent period of the NBA offseason, but we're doing our best to give you the best Lakers coverage. So we'll catch you next time, and thanks for watching today's show.